You know, abortion has been one of the most polarizing issues in American politics.
Yeah.
It touches on ethics, religion, law, basically every facet of society.
Absolutely. But how did we get to this point where it's such a divisive topic?
Well, if we look back to the 19th and early 20th centuries, most states actually criminalized abortion.
Right.
But back alley abortions were, unfortunately, common, and they led to high mortality rates for women.
That's really tragic. So when did things start to change?
In the 1960s, the feminist movement and medical professionals began pushing for decriminalization. They argued that women should have control over their reproductive choices, and ensuring safe medical procedures was crucial.
But there were still strong objections, weren't there?
Oh, absolutely. Many opposed abortion on moral grounds, believing it was equivalent to taking a life. There were also fears about declining birth rates and changes in traditional family structures.
Then came Roe v. Wade in 1973. Can you talk about its impact?
Sure. Roe v. Wade was the landmark Supreme Court decision that ruled the constitutional right to privacy protected a woman's right to choose abortion. It effectively legalized abortion nationwide, but allowed states to regulate it in later stages of pregnancy.
That's when they introduced the trimester framework?
Exactly. So, in the first trimester, states couldn't restrict abortion. In the second trimester, states could regulate, but not ban it. And in the third trimester, states could ban abortion, except when necessary to protect the mother's life.
Interesting how they tried to balance it. But the decision also sparked backlash, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. The ruling expanded women's reproductive rights and decreased unsafe, illegal abortions. But it also ignited the pro-life movement, especially among religious and conservative groups.
So that's when abortion became a major political issue?
Exactly. It created a deep political divide. Republicans started aligning with the pro-life movement to appeal to religious conservatives. Democrats, on the other hand, became the pro-choice party, focusing on reproductive rights.
And how did that shape modern politics?
Well, abortion became a central issue in elections, influencing voter turnout and party platforms. It also led to ongoing legal battles over abortion access and restrictions.
Speaking of legal battles, what about the state-level restrictions that started popping up?
So, even before Roe v. Wade was overturned, many conservative states began passing laws to restrict abortion access.
Like the heartbeat bills?
Exactly. Heartbeat bills that ban abortion after 6 weeks, before many women even know they're pregnant.
That's so early.
And also, trap laws that imposed strict regulations on clinics, forcing many to close.
And the goal was to challenge Roe v. Wade in the courts, right?
Yes, precisely. They wanted to overturn Roe, or at least chip away at its protections. It was also about satisfying pro-life voter demands in Republican-led states.
Meanwhile, pro-choice groups were pushing back.
Right. They aimed to keep abortion legal and accessible nationwide, arguing that restrictions disproportionately affect poor women and minorities. The battle intensified over the years.
But some would argue that abortion itself disproportionately affects minority communities in negative ways. What do you think about that?
That's an important point. There are concerns on both sides about the impact on communities. It's a complex issue that doesn't have easy answers.
Then, in 2022, we had Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. That was huge.
Absolutely. Dobbs overturned Roe v. Wade, allowing states to ban abortion entirely. 13 states had trigger laws that banned abortion immediately after the decision.
And some states expanded access in response?
Yes. States like California, New York, and Illinois acted to protect and even expand abortion access.
Right.
So now we have this patchwork of laws across the country.
It's kind of crazy. Women in some states have access, while in others it's completely banned.
Exactly. It has also sparked legal battles over interstate travel for abortion care.
Yeah.
The issue has energized activists and voters on both sides.
How has this affected recent elections?
Well, abortion has had a significant impact. In the 2016 election, Trump won evangelical voters by promising to appoint conservative judges.
Right.
And in the 2022 midterms, The Dobbs ruling led to voter backlash, helping Democrats.
It seems like abortion will continue to be a pivotal issue.
I think so. Upcoming legal battles include questions like whether states can ban abortion pills or if the federal government can override state bans. There's even talk about a national abortion ban if Republicans control Congress.
That's a concerning prospect for many. But do you think a political compromise is possible?
It's hard to say. The issue divides Americans on fundamental levels, whether abortion is a moral issue or a healthcare decision, whether it should be decided federally or by states. There are also debates about exceptions for rape, incest, or the mother's health.
I feel like the divisions are so deep, but maybe increased dialogue could help.
I hope so. It's important to understand where each side is coming from.
Exactly.
Perhaps with more empathy and open conversation, we can find common ground.
You know, sometimes I wonder if both sides could agree on at least reducing the number of unwanted pregnancies through education and access to contraception.
That's a good point. Focusing on preventive measures could be a step forward.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we can find some common ground.
Well, this has been a really insightful discussion. Thanks for breaking it down.
No problem. It's a complex topic, but it's important to have these conversations.
Absolutely.